Welcome back to the program. We are still examining the role of public and private sectors in battling irregular migration, particularly in Nigeria. I have with me now in the studio two gentlemen who both represent the two sectors, and interestingly, they are both trainers. I have Wande Piers, who is an international development consultant, and Shola Daudu, who is an SME catalyst. You're both welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So let me begin like this now. We, throughout like every day in the news, everywhere, we find cases of irregular migration, people dying off Libyan routes and all that. But how is it that a lot of people still don't show so much concern that this issue derives? This issue should derive, let me put it that way. I'll start with you, Shola.
Well, it's a known fact that people migrate from one place to the other in trying to find fulfillment of their dreams or to live a better life, and so it has become for Nigerians. But the unfortunate thing on our side is, I don't want to really say there's hunger in the land, and that's why the quest is necessary for people to try and move. But I suppose if you want to move and travel out of the country, you need to just do it the legal way. Try to go through the legal means and not going through the desert or the corridors of Sahara, and you are endangering yourself. But the thing is, we have this thing going on. It's like a cultural thing. It's like a thing in a society belief that you have to travel out before you can make it, and however you want to do it, just get it done and go. And the thing is that they will show you some examples of people who have actually gone through that means and risked their life, and they have come back with success stories in quotes, and so they try to take this up and use that as a measure and say, if this person can do it, then I could also do it. And the thing is, no matter how much the government is trying to sensitize the public, and we will still have people who still want to go through that means, and there's always a push factor that's attached to this. So
but would you not think that this is an issue of not creating so much awareness?
Well, I don't want to say, of course, that the government is not creating awareness. Everybody knows that what is bad, and maybe we need to increase or put more efforts in what we are doing to really sensitize the public. Maybe if we begin to see it every day, 24 hours on the screen, talking about it on the news and everything, it sinks into us. But the truth is, for some people who are not really exposed to the urban environment and they want to, they don't have that idea. Somebody just comes and, try to outsmart them, try to brainwash them, lure them, and they move them. And because they are not aware of what they are going to encounter, that becomes their story at the end of the day. So there's a need for us to increase the awareness. I won't say there's no awareness, but there is a need for us to constantly and deliberately work on this to ensure that this is widely publicized as supposed to be.
All right. So let me come to you now, Wande. You work in the private sector. What interested you? What motivated you to join or to contribute to this whole migration issue?
Well, looking at it from the private sector, it's more about looking at how Nigerians' engine of growth, the youth, is going to waste by this irregular migration. Like we all know, there's nothing wrong with you traveling, there's nothing wrong with you migrating if you decide to migrate, but the irregularity is what we're all against. And to see how the youth can be more meaningfully engaged. Meaningfully engaged in terms of becoming productive in Nigeria. And it's rather unfortunate that Nigeria has a lot of issues that needs to be dealt with. The government is trying their bit. No amount of awareness is going to solve that. It's about getting better opportunities for the Nigerian youth to do something meaningful in Nigeria. So for me, my take is how do we get them to be more productive so that Nigeria can become a better place.
Okay, so I had a chat with the DG of NAPTIP recently, and then she was charging Nigerian youths to remain here, that they can make it here and all of those things. Now, beyond, we've heard a lot of people say that, and it's almost beginning to sound like a broken record now. Now, what would you say? Is there any plan that you know of, or that you know of, or what you're doing that would encourage youths that are here to stay and not embark on that journey?
Well, there are a lot of plans that the government is putting into place, and you can see that. Now, let me come in from the SME angle and small and medium enterprise development, why government is championing the cause for people to go into specific areas such as agriculture, ICT, entertainment, and everything, to try and give them support to encourage them to stay back. But the truth is, I read an article 2 days ago which says most techpreneurs in Nigeria are actually leaving our country to go to China, to go to Spain, to go to different parts of the world to practice, while these Chinese people are bringing down their own guys to come into Africa, to come into Nigeria to see, and that means there's something that we are not seeing yet that's here. So we just need to work and fine tune the infrastructural deficit we have here. We need to turn it around, give an enabling environment for businesses, give policies that will help businesses grow and support these young startups. And that's the only thing that can keep them here, when they see that the government is trying to and willing to support them fully, and not, giving them something on one hand and using the other hand to collect it. And those are the kind of things that can keep them and say, look, if this person has done it with the help of these people, with the help of the policies government put in place, with providing access to finance, for example, to grow their businesses, they will surely stay behind.
All right. So you both are trainers. Let me ask you now, Wendy, how has it been so far with the training? How have your students been? Should I call them students? Don't you call them students?
Well, we call them participants.
Participants. So how have your participants been receiving the training?
Well, a lot of them look at it as something new to them, and it's actually quite exciting for some of them. They're learning something different. They're learning how to be productive. So the training has been successful so far. What actually remains is to actually translate this success into something more in terms of actually helping to reintegrate them back into the system, because the human capital flight in Nigeria is very, very high. So we need to find ways to bring this down, and once they're able to get these kinds of training and they're able to set up their businesses, and on the part of the government, there's an enabling environment for these small businesses to thrive.
And now, shall I agree with him on that?
Well, yes, I agree, but it can be better.
So what ways are you suggesting that can make it better now?
Well, relax policies, in terms of, for example, tax revenue collection. There shouldn't be multiple taxation. If a small business owner is paying on a federal level, there's no reason why it shouldn't be exempted from the state level, and give them some year tax-free holidays, to enjoy when they start their businesses. Create enabling infrastructures. We all know if there's energy, power, working effectively, things will transform in this country.
So how has the training been on your own part now?
Well, on my own part, it's been to my own side, it's giving me another dimension to life, making me to see that, so things like this actually exist, and trying to see, the other aspect of life. Now, for them, it's a new beginning. It's a phase where they have to change their mindset and actually make themselves believe that they can now do better. And if they were able to take such risk at that time, why not be willing to stay back and take risk to grow yourself and grow your family? So maybe at the end of the day, after setting up, they might now decide to, I want to travel legally. Nobody's having issues with it. So for us, it's a change of mindset thing, and they're actually coping with it.
Okay, so let's just go down a little bit now to returnees. We found cases of some of them having been trained, they embark on that journey again. Now I understand that you are a life coach. How does he also talked about mindset. How does mindset now, talking to these people, how can we use that to make a change in ensuring that these people stay for good?
Well, as you know, I do I conduct this training for the UN Agency for Migration, the IOM, and the IOM is doing quite a lot in terms of not only providing the business training, but actually supporting them financially and other ways to fully integrate them into the society. So when you have a returned migrant who's gone through the business training and decides to go back, it's for me it's two things. One is the time between when the business training happens and the time that for actual reintegration, and the gap and the lack of not knowing what to do within that period. So that pull factor from because most of them are not. The final destination isn't Libya; it's in Europe. It's Europe. So they're always looking for better opportunities. So if it's not forthcoming, they tend to want to run back. And the other one is some people just have this belief that they cannot. It's either Europe or nothing. So they don't want to give it a shot to stay in Nigeria and try to do anything. So those are the two key reasons why they want to leave.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so please, I would like to know, is on your own side now, is the government doing anything? Because we find that most of the returnees or those who embark on the journey are from rural areas. Is the government doing anything as it relates to community development?
Yes, government is actually trying its best by reaching out to we have the 3 tiers of government. They are coming back to the state government now to be able to get into those communities who have the cultural undertone of all these migration things, and to see how they can work with the community people, the elders, the traditional rulers, to actually, number one, sensitize them and show them the dangers in human trafficking, and work with them, and also to bring agencies, to their doorsteps to help them checkmate and maybe work on their borders and with the loop zones to see that. Some of them go as far as getting to the car parks, to the garage, to see and try and monitor movements, So, there are tip-offs, that gets these people alerted, and they come down to see, and okay, you guys are the cartel. They're trying to arrest them at base. That's one. Two, again, to help them set up little businesses in their community. If there's a success story to refer to, it will definitely encourage some of them who have returned to say, okay, these guys have returned. We were actually in Libya together or wherever they are, and now this is what they are doing. Now, so government is working with the traditional rulers, the elders in the community, and to help them, because they can't actually do it above. So you have to come to the roots and say, we need to work with you on this and stop this. And recently, I'm very grateful that one bold step that was taken in a particular state had to involve the harbor, to talk about this, to do a lot of things, and we can see a lot of changes, even in that community as well. So I believe in other states and communities like that, such things can also actually be, replicated, to douse the tension of this migration issue.
All right, so let's talk now generally about the impact of migration on both countries. By both now, I mean the host country and the country where these people are living. I'll start with you, Wande.
The impact, for Nigeria, like I mentioned earlier, is the human capital flight, whereby we're losing a lot of our youths to illegal migration, and even to, we're losing a lot of them in the desert. A lot of them are dying in trying to cross over. So for Nigeria, that's the real impact. We're losing our youth, the people who are supposed to be here, to the leaders of tomorrow. We're losing that cadre of people in Nigeria, and for the recipient country, it's not going to help them to also plan. Because when you have an influx of people that was not planned for, if a country plans for 2 million people, and in every year 500,000 extra comes in, it has its own impact, and those are the things that they're always trying to checkmate. Right? That's why they're putting in programs to see how we can stop this illegal migration into their country. I mean, coming in legally, fine, you are documented, they know you are there, you are part of the plan. But when you come illegally, you cannot plan. There begins to be a dwindling of the resources that they have to cater for their own citizens. And also in Nigeria, in Nigeria we have a lot of illegal migrants ourselves.
Of course.
Right? And whether I would like it or not, that's one of the reasons why we're having challenges, particularly in Lagos, with housing. There's too many people in Lagos, and a large number of them are also illegal migrants. But and let's not talk about the people that move from the rural urban migration. It also affects places like Lagos. So there's a lot of impact on it. I mean, the housing, this population, the economy generally is affected, and for the recipient countries, they also look at the same things, and particularly now when there are issues of terrorism, you can't account for a lot of people in your country, those kind of things.
All right, so I'll end with you now, Shola.
All right.
How can we find a lasting solution to all of this?
Number one, I would suggest the government create strict policies, that is against human trafficking. And the government should not just create them, walk the talk, and try to identify who are the people behind this push factor, who it's an organized cartel, who are these people, and try to work on that and break that. Second thing is to work with the community people, come to the grassroots and to move from house to house to sensitize. And the third thing is to create an enabling environment, for livelihood. Nigerians actually struggle to survive. Okay, so if that can be changed, and I see no reason I need to go to Europe, except I'm going on relaxation or something on holiday, and I want to go there. And there are a lot of potentials there. There are a lot of opportunities in this country that if these youths, can actually key into, they make. There are a lot of success stories in that. But some people are just being fine-tuned or accustomed to that fact that, if, like you said, if it's not Europe, it's nothing. So the government needs to actually work on such mentality and change the story around. How do you change the story around? It's by turning the economy around.
All right. So Shola says there are many opportunities in Nigeria and we should begin to see them. Thank you very much, Shola Daudo and Akinwande Pears. Thank you so much for being a part of the program
Thank
today.
you.
Now we'll go on a short break now, and when we return, there is more on the program. Please keep watching.
Corruption not in my country.
Cut. All right. What's your name again? Kemi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Are you ready for us for next week?
Yes, sir.
Next.
No, sir. No.
What? Look, what we need here is one who can speak fluent English. Give her a chance.
I need a angel to hold me. Hold me, my beautiful angel.
Cut! It is Angel, not Angel. Please, I'm done with you. Excuse us. Kemi was far better.
It's not about our rendition. It's not about our performance here. By the time she and her friends join us in our hotel rooms, you will know how far.
Can I have her phone?
She has a robust profile.
Real robust profile. I do not undercut professional ethics. It is an act of corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. Here is a list of requirements for fresh passport application for adults 18 years and above. Letter of identification from local government, state of origin or residence, or national identity card, or letter of introduction for employees of government as a Nigerian citizen stating service number, length of service, and designation or rank. The letter must be accompanied with a valid staff identity card. Completed passport application form and 2 passport-sized photographs endorsed behind by the guarantor. Completed guarantors form duly signed by a commissioner for oaths attached with photocopy of data page of guarantor's Nigerian e-passport and one passport-sized photograph of the guarantor. Marriage certificate where applicable. Birth certificates issued by the National Population Commission shall be required from applicants whose date of birth is with effect from December 1992, or age declaration attached with one passport-sized photograph and duly endorsed by a commissioner for oaths. Acknowledgement slip and evidence of payment. And with that, we've come to the end of the program today. Till I come your way again next week, I am Oyin Adekunle. Thanks for watching.